What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good weekend. I've been pretty lazy most of the weekend. But we'll wait for a couple more people to show up here. Make sure this is set good. As always, make sure and give me a sound check. I've got my Wi-Fi working, so uh, internet's a lot better than it used to be here. So it should be good. But always give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if the sound quality is good. Hey, Jen. Hey, Mary. All right, what's up, Mark? And while I'm waiting on a few people to show up here, I wanted to give a shout out to a viewer who saw my pant dilemma and had a lot of pants that they had, and sent me a new pair. Actually, sent me a box full of pants. They're still 38, 34s, but they're all 511 tactical, and they have the little thing on the side that you can pull and tighten it up. So I was about out of work pants and everything, and that was a great gift. Good. I'm glad the sound and everything's looking good. Thanks, Evelyn. Yeah, the fence did turn out nice. I've still got those two sections. I got the wood from the mountain farm to finish the last two sections up. Minnesota, yes, it is very nice. I'm sure it's much colder up there than it is down here. Lori, how you doing? So we're starting to get some people on, and today, well, I'll show you around a little bit because we can actually see. So today, or you guys have been seeing the shop cleanup, and it's getting a lot better. We're getting there. I've still got to finish my other door and whatnot. I've been playing with the old 66 back there a little bit, and kind of took a few days. Didn't just be lazy and not do anything. I just kind of did some of the stuff I wanted to do. And I wanted to dig through, see about how much I had, because I wasn't even sure with the tarps and stuff. Digging through to see how much wood I had on this side, because I was hoping to move it over to the other side all the way in the back, so I can kind of clear this side of the shed up a little bit and make some room. And Mama Beth should be on here in just a minute. Yeah, low 60s. It's about 75 or 76 here in Columbus. I know my mom and dad's house up in the mountains has been pretty cold as well. The other day it was like below like 30, 29 or 30, so. There you go, okay. So, I'll show you some of the projects. A lot of these have already been started here. Let me flip the camera around. So this is a piece of black walnut. And when I started out with this piece, it was only one side. It was actually one piece, twice as thick. And I took and cut it in half and then joined the two halves so that it was mirrored. You know, each side a slight mirror. So, and I joined everything together. There's about 6 3/4 inch dowel rods, about 4 or 5 inches long, that sit all the way down through here, and then it was glued and biscuit joined as well. So you can see some places where the joinery, actually that wasn't even the joinery, it's where this walnut's hard and chipped out, and then a few places where you can see the crack a little bit, but that's okay. So it's really hard to truly appreciate this. I had oiled this at one point. So I want to put it down here, I think. I had oiled it, but the nice thing is, all right, there we go. So what I've got here is just a little bit of water, and this wood's been dried for 6 or 7 years now, so a little bit of water is not going to hurt it. But when it's got a fresh coat of oil on it, that's what it looks like. As you can see, this was a burl. This was a burl piece of the walnut in the at the base in the crotch cut. It was actually one big, pretty much massive burl, and you can see how absolutely phenomenal the grain pattern and everything is on this wood. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Walnut's hard to work with, but it's one of my favorites. Yep, so I have a plan, and no, I will be using some epoxy. I will be using some epoxy. Yeah, it does, and I originally was going to make, okay, so I gotta tell you a story about this. So when I worked with my buddy Patrick Calloway, and we had a little sawmill, this was about 6 years ago or so. That was his plan, was to turn it into a butterfly, and then he ended up having to move, so I got it from him. Now I was going to make a dining room table here. Let me switch the camera. I was going to make a dining room or a coffee table for it for my wife, but she said she took one look at it and she said that's a tooth. And you've got to understand, my wife has this insane phobia of the dentist, like irrational. She has to take Valium or Xanax for me to get her into the dentist door, or she won't walk in. So when she looked at it, she said, that looks like a tooth. It is not coming in my house. So that kind of slowed me down a little bit on the coffee table project for this. But one of my other friends, Gilbert, where I make a lot of my metalworking stuff, he's trying to do a little bit of wood. I was actually over there helping set some stuff up, and he's got a router sled. And a router sled, what a router sled is, it's just a sled that I put this under with a router and a flush cut router on a table, and so I can get it flat and level. Because you can see on this one where I was playing around with it, it's a little bit thinner here, a little bit thicker here. Let me flip this camera again. Sorry, folks. Man, I should have got my other tripod, but I couldn't find it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over and lay it on his router sled and take it down. It'll probably drop only about a ½ an inch of thickness, but I want to get it an even thickness all the way across. And then I'm going to use resin, epoxy, and I'm only going to fill up about halfway. I'm going to put a form in here. I might end up having to fill it up halfway, but I'm going to do different butterfly colors. That was my thinking, and kind of mirror it. So if I do like a red and orange and silver, and with the epoxy, and it'll just be a light epoxy with probably like a light blue base. So everything on the mirror side will all be different colors, or the same colors on different sides. And I had a cool idea the other day. I'm going to take on the bottom, and I'll probably just take my router and just router cut into the resin about a ½ an inch, and I'm going to put little LED lights in there. And I'm going to build a metal basin off for it, so that way if you turn it on, it'll look like a butterfly, and the resin being just a light tint and transparent, all of it will glow when it's low light. I think it'll be pretty cool. I think it'll look good. And for the top, I don't usually do flood coats for the top, and as this water evaporates, it's actually pretty smooth. But I don't do rough coats of epoxy on the top. What I like to do is use a Odie's or an Osmo oil. It's like gets really hard, and the wood I will still, like, all this will get polished, the resin and everything will get polished starting with like 250 grit paper or 220 grit paper, and I'll polish up to about 3,000 grit paper, and then I'll switch over to the automotive polisher and use buffing compound and then polishing compound. And with the walnut, it's so hard when you polish it, it actually turns into I mean, it looks like a mirror as well. And then with the Osmo or the Odie's oil, I'll go over it. And the cool thing about that is when you rub your hand over it, you feel the wood and then you feel the epoxy. If you do a flood coat over the whole thing, it just makes it feel a little bit more fake, because it's just an epoxy feel. I like the different textures. And somebody said mica powder. Mica powder is all I use to tint my epoxy. I have hundreds of colors of mica powder, and I don't order mica powder for epoxy pouring because it's a niche and it ups the mark. I actually get the mica powder that you ladies use to make your own makeup. It's a lot cheaper, like to tint makeup and stuff, and I can get it in bulk. So yeah, that's my idea, and then I'll make some kind of base for it. And this stuff is one of the reasons I'm in such a hurry to get my shop fixed. Not only projects for on the house, but this kind of stuff, because I absolutely love doing it. And being that, you know, a lot of the stuff coming up that I'm going to be doing on the house is not cheap, such as the insulation, you know, chinking and stuff like that. I'm going to be making, so like this piece will be going up, and I'm going to figure out how to set up like a silent auction or something to put up and actually sell it. And so when I make the base, I'll try and make it where it will, you know, come apart, so if someone's further away, they can ship it. But just to supplement a little bit of the projects here on the homestead. So I think it'll be a good idea. All right, let me flip the camera again. Here are a few of my other pieces, and this is literally just a fraction of wood that I've got over there like this. So we'll start with this piece. If I can get the camera to stay. I'm making everybody seasick here. You would think I would be better at this by now. Okay, so this is a piece of, it's not driftwood. This is a piece of longleaf pine. And I thought this would be really cool to turn into like a lamp with drops on it for like the corner of a room or something like that. If I can get it, it sets one way, it does set up on its own. There we go. Okay, now I can show you guys. Okay, so I was thinking with this, making a lamp and just dropping some of the like vintage Edison light bulbs, put it in the corner of a room for just a really cool, you know, display light. I think it'd be pretty cool. And one of the reasons I like the long leaf, I'm sorry, I just can't make up my mind on I'm having to move everything around. So this is another piece of long leaf that I polished. I want to put my water on here and rub some of the dirt off. So I've just like I haven't even really got into this. I was just experimenting with some different polishing techniques. So you can see what that looks like once it's polished. And this looked exactly like this when I started adding the polish to it. So once I do some poly or whatever I decide to do on this piece, you can see all the red streaks, how they start coming out in the long leaf. So it's really, 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 really pretty. So when I get that whole piece will be polished and look like this, and I think that'll make it look even better. It'll still be very rustic, but it'll just have a little bit of bling to it. And if any of you guys have any ideas that come to your head, let me know. I'm always looking for ideas. This is why I try and stay off of Etsy and Pinterest, because then I start getting a little bit elaborate in my designs. So these next two pieces right here are cherry, which is probably my second favorite wood. No, I really should have got my other tripod. All right, and I've got a few pieces actually of this exact cherry wood right here. There we go, that's a little bit better. And the same thing, I always get ahead of myself and start sanding stuff to see how it's going to turn out. This is one of the pieces from some of the biggest cherry I've ever seen in my life. But you can see how pretty the wood, and this is just with a little bit of water, and not even, I think this is like a 120 grit sand. So once you start getting on up into your very finer sandings and a little bit of oil, it's phenomenal. This is another piece of cherry wood. I think I might have one more piece of this, but my idea for this piece of cherry wood, you just see the grain in this. My idea for this piece of cherry wood was to make like a what you call that thing? My mind went blank. The table that goes like behind your couch, or like an entryway. So that'll be pretty. Oh yeah, cherry wood has a very red tint. It's a very red wood. And when it's fresh and you're cutting it, or even when you start working with it, after it's been dried, it smells very, very much like cherries. It smells amazing. I love getting the, like when I was working with that cherry wood, and we had a router table and I would be planing it and stuff, I'd always empty all the bags so that I can save the cherry wood chips for smoking or just the smell. To me, the cherry wood smells even better than cedar. So these two pieces are also black walnut, and you can see where I've been working on them. And this is going to be a table that's right about 6 foot long or so. And what I'm going to do is, you can see where I've got the gap in the center. I'm going to scoot those probably a little bit wider apart so it's a full table length, or a full-size table. And I'm going to leave the live edges on the outside, and on the inside I'm going to do a really pretty, probably go with like I like the light blue river pour with some dark blue and some silver and purple, like some peacockish colors down the center. Or this one, depending on how fancy I want to get, I think that I might do I might even go with the black, because the walnut is so dark. Once it's finished, it really does good. I mean, the transformation from when this stuff is oiled and wet to just dry wood is just phenomenal. And the other cool thing about the walnut is that walnut and hickory has a lighter stripe, the pith wood on the outside. So you can see just how pretty just how beautiful this wood is. And this is a book matched piece. So I actually need to turn the knots the same direction. This is a slab and then the next slab. So these are book matched, they're a matched pair. Yeah, that's pretty. And you can see right here, this, I knew this was going to crack like this from right when we slabbed it. I guess we slabbed all this in about 2000, I want to say 16, 17. And I knew this was going to crack. It started cracking very early. But what I'm going to do is cut some unique butterflies, which are just kind of look like an hourglass right here. And then you inset it into the wood. It keeps the crack from expanding. But I was thinking about making some that were like S's kind of to inset into this wood to keep that crack from getting worse. But yeah, I think that will make a very, very pretty table. You can see even how much prettier the wood is when I'm back off of it a little bit. So I think that's going to be pretty. This is also this is more cherry, and I haven't really sanded it, but you can still kind of get an idea of how pretty the wood is. And I was going to do kind of the same thing with this too. I was thinking it wouldn't make a big table, but make like a smaller table. Cut them in half and separate the epoxy space there in the middle and make that like something for like a kitchen nook or something like that. So I think that'll work. And I'll leave my mom to talk to you guys for a minute because there's one more piece I forgot to bring out here I want to show you guys. So I'm sure my mom will keep you all entertained, and I'll leave you with chicken TV for about 30 seconds. All right, and I'm back. So this piece, while I explain it to you, I'm gonna wipe it off. So this is a piece I actually did finish at one point. And then when you have dogs like we do, you don't have anything nice. And this was the COVID puppies, I think. No, this might have been before the COVID puppies. You can see where it got chewed on a little bit. So I've got to sand all this out. And it's been sitting up on the top shelf in the shop where the chickens still get to it for like the past, no, I guess it was before the COVID puppy, but this has been setting up on the shop for a couple years now, getting dusty and chicken poop on it. These walnut pieces, I think I've got 2 more of these walnut pieces left, are some of my favorite walnut I've ever cut. And this has a hand rubbed polyurethane on it. It took me a long time to, there's like 15 coats of hand rubbed poly on this. I think I spent about a week trying to get that poly on there. All right, now you guys are going to be able to see the uniqueness of what I did with this piece of walnut. I want to keep that. I want to keep that's the only bad thing about the hand rub poly. It'll leave the white marks. Okay. I'm telling you guys, this camera's or this mount's in my butt. So, where I had all the voids, I didn't want to use epoxy on this piece. So I actually went and got turquoise, like turquoise stones, and then beat the crap out of them. It took me so long to get this turquoise busted down. And in all the cracks and the voids, I took the powdered turquoise and used a special, like super thin CA glue, super glue basically, and packed it all down in there. And I would use the super glue and get it hard, and then I sanded and polished the turquoise. And so when you look at it, you can see the turquoise that are in the cracks left the wood. And so this has always been one of my favorite pieces, and luckily this won't be too hard to finish or to fix. I just need to probably I'll cut a little bit of it off. They got all the corners. I think it was Moxley, but I'll kind of keep it natural looking and then sand it. And then for a base, you guys can see I took I just took 4 pieces of walnut, or I took 2 pieces of walnut and sectioned them into an X. Cut them together so they fit down, and then I did my sorry, I lost the plug. But I used my Craig jig to put my screws in and try and hide the where the screws were. So in hindsight, I kind of wish I'd used a metal base with it, but I don't know, I think the wood looks pretty good. And at the time I didn't have a welder or anything like that, so that made the metal base a little bit difficult. All right, hopefully I don't have to adjust it anymore. So I know I've been telling you guys, you know, how much I like making furniture and wood and stuff, so I just thought I'd show you guys some of the stuff I like to do with it. Try to think outside the box and you know, make stuff that's a little bit different, a little bit interesting. And most of the time what I end up doing with stuff is definitely, you know, not what other people would do with the same piece of wood. So I always like that. And what other people do at school is, you know, not what I do with it. And that's what makes art like that so much fun. Everybody has their own take on it. And now I've got to finish up the last little bit over here and get all that wood organized. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of wood there, a ton of wood. And the stuff that's underneath this, the shed here, I turned around sideways, like all this will be staying in the shed for the time being, because I've got my boxes for I'm separating out like sockets, wrenches, random tools, random nuts and screws, you know, kind of just a general by type, and that way I can keep that going as I clean out this huge mess. And then this is all getting reorganized, and then with the general type I can bust it down, organize it even more, and get rid of stuff. I have been out here working a little bit today, and it's starting to look better. And I've got some of the old bird farm tin. I need to go get some more. I don't have a lot more here, but that actually is turning out much better than I thought. It looks good, so I think it's going to make a real interesting aesthetic addition and serve a purpose. So, but anyway, I've been rattling on for a minute. catch up on comments. I'm sure there's some questions. The garden is doing good. I might be able to get out there. Yeah, I could find that on one single shelf in my garage, Dixie. Yeah, I really like well, the stones will be staying in the turquoise. I've just got to fix where the dogs chewed on it, Donna. I've made about 3 or 4 runs to the landfill, but they've been like on the black trailer and like the back of my truck totally filled full. I'm just getting rid of a lot of stuff that I know I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. With this, you know, I bring stuff home for projects, and like one of my projects is bringing stuff home for projects, so it never ends. We got our pear tomatoes. We got some little bugs in here, and I let these set so long. I'm like, why aren't they getting ripe? And so a lot of them rotted before I realized that they were ripe. They were really good. Finally got some sandwich tomatoes. I've already had a couple sandwiches. I've got some more over here. And these little, my wife might have already picked some today. These are really cool, and they are really good too. They're like a little bit bigger than like a tomito, you know, their size, but they are delicious. Oh. I got that all over screen. I bombed the camera. The green peppers, we've actually pulled a lot of green peppers and used the green peppers. We've had a ton of them. Looks like she already got those today. The jalapenos, I've got some more jalapenos on here. No, I got a lot of jalapenos I need to pull. She pulled some yesterday too. And then I think these are sriracha peppers. I think that's what Papa Hugh told me. So these, and this is all one big huge plant. I need to get it up off the ground. But I'm gonna let all those turn red, and I'm just gonna cut them and hang them to dry. Oh, and this is interesting. So you guys remember I pulled the okra because it was shading my peppers, and I was going to throw it away. I just set it here and didn't think about it. Like all I did was set it there. I haven't watered it or anything, and it's still making okra. Apparently you cannot kill okra. It's like super unkillable. That's pretty impressive. And then these have getting eat on, and I forgot to water this for a minute. They're coming back a little bit, but sticking the suckers into the ground worked perfect. I did nothing special. I just cut a sucker, had a lot of hairs on the bottom, got the pot wet, and just stuck it right down in the dirt, and they came on. Oh yeah, a frost will get rid of the, a frost will kill the peppers for sure. Yeah, I don't think we usually don't hit our first frost till December, maybe late November, but it takes a while. Yeah, Don, like Mom said, just let them Yeah, that's all logs there, Rodney. The original log cabin on this. Oh, under all of them, no. All the logs that are left are the front, up there, and down to just past the second chimney where you see them. That part over there, where the other chimney is at that siding, that was stick built all around 1840. You know, an addition, and then the rest of the addition upstairs, and from where these logs end, that's the end of the original cabin. But all this room and everything was built and added on by 1840. So the logs that would have run this way are gone, because I think it was about the same time the additions were, there was a fire, and it took out that part of the roof, which I think is why they decided to go ahead and do the additions, this addition, and go up and make the full second level. And if you get under there, you can still see where remnants of the old fire happened. So that's the story of why it's not all log. I'm gonna get started chinking on everything. All right, so, and I'm just going, the only people that are going to know about this are people that are cool enough to hop on my live videos. So I'm not going to chink the whole side of the house, where the chimneys are. I've already got the siding cut for it, and I got to thinking about everything and decided that that might be just a little bit too much. I wanted to kind of accent with the logs. That'd be a lot of logs mixed in with the siding, and I think it'll look better to re-side it, because it really is more of a farmhouse than a log cabin. It's not a log cabin. So I'm going to re-side it, and I'm just going to leave the front porch as the accent to showcase the logs, because I think that will be enough to showcase the history and, you know, what the old house was about. Donna, the original part of the house was built in 1827. It's 195 years old right now. 18, something like that. Robert, I don't know how he remembers all those dates. I can't remember my birthday half the time, and I definitely forget the kids' birthdays. My wife's birthday, I had to set an alarm on my phone. So yeah, I used to remember stuff, but not so much anymore. After a few TBI incidents and whatnot, my memory is gone. Robert's going to be coming over to get his little, I'm going to spoil some of his, or steal some of his thunder. And I'm keeping one of them. So these are the ones, when his one guinea hatched, he got extra chicks so the guinea wouldn't be lonely. And then that one up there isn't a whole lot younger, but it's from a place down here in Columbus where there's all kinds of feral random chickens that run around, and they're all, most of them are like little bannies. So someone called Robert and said there was a little chick down there, mom had abandoned it, so he brought it home. We put it in here with these guys, and let me tell you something, that little bitty tiny bird up there is queen of the roost. She is, from the time he brought her home and she's like this big, rules everything, like kicks all these big chickens' butts. And unfortunately my little rooster passed away, not from natural causes. I think it was a hawk. So that big white boy there, he's going to be pretty. He's going to be staying here at the homestead. And I had the idea, but now we're going to keep the I'm going to keep the rooster because I need a rooster. But I had this idea that was going to be great video, and he bought those at Tractor Supply and they were sexed. And so I'm like, Robert, I know what we're going to do. I'm like, I'm going to be in Tractor Supply. I'm going to have the GoPro kind of inconspicuous like, and you're going to come in carrying the chicken and be like, hey, I'm just returning this because this chicken's broken. It makes funny noises and it doesn't lay any eggs. Something's wrong with it. you know, don't worry about the money, but you know, this one's broke. And Robert was just going to set the chicken down on the floor in Tractor Supply and turn around and walk out. And I was going to videotape the aftermath of the Harbor Freight employee trying to catch the chicken inside of Harbor Freight. This stuff just comes to me. That's, you know, you guys notice I like the practical joke a little bit, but I think that would have been a hysterical video of the return chicken to Tractor Supply. Maybe it's just me. I thought it would be funny, but I guess he'll have a better life here on the homestead than wherever he would go from Tractor Supply. I think I saw a question. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Joyce. More balance. That's the word I was kind of looking for there. Somebody asked about the motorcycle. Motorcycles are still here. One's in the flower bed up front, and the other one's hiding over here in where I need to mow, but I need to clean and double check the ground before I can mow. But the Jeep's getting taken off this week full of metal and all the rest of the trash. My goal is tomorrow's Monday. I'm hoping to make some dump runs tomorrow and finish getting all the trash out, because I need more room to start organizing stuff that's outside stuff, farm implements. So I can't really organize that right now. So if I get all the trash out of the way, then I start organizing that stuff, which will free up more room around here. So, you know, one step at a time. It's getting closer. It's getting closer to where I want it. Yeah, the rooster one, honestly, that rooster, he had been here for, I guess he was 5 or 6 years old. So I'm not sure how long roosters live, but he had a, thank you, Sue, I really appreciate that. He had been here for a while, so he had a good long life. And no, Mom has not started her own channel yet. She is trying to finish up fall canning and all that kind of stuff, and then especially when it gets colder. Plus, after my aunt died, then my little sister moved down to the trailer and where my aunt lived, because my aunt willed all that to her. So there's been a lot going on. She really just hasn't had time to paint yet, and I'm going to go up there and help her set up the lights, because she'll need a little bit extra light back in the room. Plus, she moved her art room into the bigger room in the back so that she had room to do videos and set up her big paintings. So it's that'll give her something really good to do when it's cold outside and there's snow in the mountains. She will have ample time to paint, and probably will be able in the winter to make enough videos so that she can have a video to post throughout the summer and spring months when it's really busy. I'll help her out with it. But yeah, I'm going to be going up there. I'm going to be going up there in about once a month. I'm going here in a couple weeks. And I'm going to be going up to Mom and Dad's place at least once a month for 4 or 5 days and helping Dad get some projects knocked out and just help them up there. So there'll be plenty of videos coming from the mountain farm. A chicken enclosure? No, mine are all free range. And with free range birds, yeah, you plan accordingly. Every spring I buy 3 or 4 extra chickens when I get new ones, just because I know a couple are going to die. Now, over the past about 3 years, since we got the guinea, we haven't really lost that many. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, we'll get that family reunion going. Since I have all the dogs here and the goats, we haven't lost many birds at all to raccoons or anything. Like I said, I think the little rooster was hit by a hawk, but he was also a banny, so he was little. Yeah, you see that building right there? that's the other reason we haven't lost a lot. That little shed lean-to on the side of the shop, that is their roosting house. So they sleep really close to the house. So at night they go up and that's where they roost. They've got their little light and everything. I am going to move that, and I'm going to move the Tajma coop for the pullets. And this is their hen laying house. And they used to all lay in there. But they haven't been. But that's why I'm saying I need to get all the junk off, because I need to move all this stuff off. Or I need to move all this over here. And I'm going to make like a little chicken compound, basically, with all that stuff kind of in a U shape. And then I am going to put some, I'll try and enclose it all in, put stuff on top so hawks can't get there. And I think that'll work. So yeah, I am going to build an enclosure for night. It's just going to take me a few minutes to get there. Oh yeah, I'm still gonna make mama thing. I think this is it. Hang on, Mom. Wait a minute. I don't think I can type. I don't know how to type a comment on my own. Rodney, leave a comment in this live video after it's done. Give it about 10 or 15 minutes, and post a live comment, and that way I can go back and post her email address. Or actually, after the video's done, I will just throw her email address in a pinned comment in the top. That way you have it. So I think that'll work. Yeah, I know, and I keep saying, Mark, I keep saying I'm going to make her a moderator, and I just forget. And then during the next live video, this kind of thing comes up, and I'm like, I'm going to make Mom a moderator. And then I see a butterfly or a unicorn or a pony or something, and that's the end of that. Yeah, Ryan's funny. He's actually not much bigger than the rest of them geese. Mom needs to put a little strap on his leg, a colored strap, because as soon as the other ones get their big schnoz thing on the front, she's not gonna be able to know which one's Ryan. So she needs to put a colored bracelet on Ryan so she always knows which one he is. All right, everybody. Thank you, Miss American Maid. Thank you very, very, very much. I appreciate that greatly. Very much so. Well, for people that are just joining, I was showing people some of my prized wood collections. I've got a whole lot more. And so you guys, now that I'm getting the shop cleaned up, you guys will be able to start seeing some of these, some of my wood go from just sanded wood to actual projects. And I can't wait for that. And stay tuned as I make stuff and get it made. Like I said, I plan on starting to run the silent auctions to help fund some of the stuff here at the homestead, some of the projects, and some other things coming up. And honestly, if I actually used, say, 50% of the wood that I have under here made into furniture, I would need to have 3 more houses, because I have a lot. Yeah, thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. I was just thinking, Donna, like the things they put on their feet, the chicken's legs, because you can get them that are a little bit big. Well, Ryan's done growing, but they make them that are real tough and rubber, and that's how they label them to keep track of them. And so that way he's just got a little thing on his leg. yeah, I've got some cool ideas. I've got some cool wood, some cool ideas. I've got a lot of cool metal pieces that I want to integrate in, you know, old salvaged metal and stuff. I want to integrate in with the wood. Sorry. Um, I don't know if I'll lose you through here, but like some of the stuff that I've collected over the years, I've got this old tailgate that came from one of the shooting ranges and Fort Bragg. And, you know, it sets like that on a tailgate. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some wood to the seat so it'll be comfortable and make a mount, and it's going to go on probably right out here. It's going to hang on the, I'll figure out a place. But anyway, it's going to hang on a wall somewhere. So when you look at it, it just looks like a really cool old Jeep tailgate. But I want to have the chains and everything so I can unhook it and set it down, and it'll be a bench. And a tailgate bench. So I think that'll be pretty cool to use. And I might even just use some of my big pecan that I have and make the seat out of the pecan and put the use the Jeep as just the back for the bench. I think that'll be cool. And I did have a fan get a hold of me. She emailed me, I guess, a few weeks ago, and I'm bad to check my email, and even worse about getting back with people. But she has always done nonprofits. She works for nonprofits, helped create nonprofits, and I left her a message yesterday. I wait for her to get back with me, but she offered her and her husband services to help me actually start the real nonprofit for the Healing Walk, which is fantastic because the more research I do, the more I don't think I would be able to do it myself. And if I did, it would have to be the only thing I do for like a few months while I started, because it is complicated, crazy, and I do not understand any of it. Next time I go to mom and dad's, I might head out for a day or two. Pushing October up there. I got a little window. I might go out for a little bit of time, but I love walking and I like it when it's chilly. But once you hit on the Appalachian Trail, especially because it's all on the ridge lines and really high, once you start pushing middle of October into November, up there it's going to be 0, pushing up maybe in the day, get up to 40, but cold at night. Copper hates the cold, and I don't do well with the cold. So I'm kind of taking this time to try and throw together some gear, get some stuff planned, and then starting about next April or May, we'll start taking off on some. So I am looking forward to that. Yeah, I might have 1 or 2 there, Donna. 1 or 2 Jeep parts I can hang. As a matter of fact, that's also from Fort Bragg, from an old CJ little Army Jeep. I made into a shelf, and yeah, I got a lot. I have so much cool stuff that I've collected or inherited over the years. So it's all going to be getting hung up and finally get displayed. Caroline's doing well. Copper will need some dog coats. Yeah, I think he will. Like, it's been getting down in the 60s at night here, and so I just have I'll turn, when we go out to edit in the evenings or early in the morning, edit videos, I'll open the windows and turn on the fan, because I like it, chilly, and he'll be curled up and cooling. Not a whole lot of stuff on my property, really. Nothing real cool, but I haven't looked that much. We found some cool stuff when we were pulling the siding off where the logs were. At some point, Robert's going to come up here, and we just both been so busy. Robert's going to come over here, and we're going to metal detect some areas. Yeah, Donna, my email is on all my pinned comments on all the videos. So I'll pin this one too, and there's an email address there that you can shoot me an email. No, I don't. That's my buddy's shop, and so I only use it nights and weekends, and he's been extremely busy. Um, and I've been busy, so I haven't been out there. I would love to be able to do that as a business, but again, that would be a full-time business and would take, you know, most any time away from here. So as far as, because if he lets me use it for free if I'm making stuff for me, but if I'm doing anything business related, then I pay him rent, shop rent. So it's hard to be able to order a lot of the materials in bulk in order to make enough money to cover the cost. If steel prices ever come down, I will, but steel prices are still really high. And, oh, one last thing. I'm not sure if people watching this after the fact will stay to hear, but a lot of people have been like, are you and Robert okay? Are you guys upset at each other, whatever? No, not at all. He's been really busy and killing at the bird farm. I've been busy here. And then when like one or the other of us just have a day off, the other one will have something that they really have to do. You know, family commitments or appointments and stuff like that. So I've been over there. Like Robert is at my house or I'm at his house pretty much every single day. Yeah, except for maybe Saturdays and Sunday. We hang out, we talk, and we haven't had the time to spend full days to make videos and stuff. So, oh, you know, I did actually some of the stuff I found in the old bottle dump. Somebody said that. So like, this is cool. This is actually an old Western Flyer. I think which auto parts? One of the auto parts sold it. And this is a little bitty, I didn't even know they made them this small, a little Schwinn bicycle, circa, I think probably around the 30s, that was back in the dump. Obviously way beyond restoring, but we have found some cool bottles and stuff like that. So there's been some interesting stuff found. All right, everybody. Well, it's been about an hour, and I gotta get, you notice my wood and stuff's the one thing that always stays covered up, and it's got some poop on it because I didn't realize the corner of the tarp has fallen off. So I'm gonna get back to put all this back up and cover it, and a couple other little things I need to knock out to get ready to start Monday. But I think like Thursday through Sunday I did work out here and did some stuff, but not really hard, not all day long. So I'm gonna knock it out. All right, everybody. Well, appreciate y'all tuning in. Nice seeing everybody, and I'm gonna hop off here and get back to work. I'll catch you guys next time, and I'm gonna try and do lives. I'm gonna try and make a point to do at least 2 or 3 lives a month because they're fun, and I get to show you guys a lot of different stuff that don't make it into videos. Little projects and stuff. So I'll try and make sure and throw a few more live videos in. All right, everybody. Take care.